which selects at-large teams and provides oversight around the women's tournament. Thanks to you both for all you do for us and for working double duty in these important roles. Last year was obviously a tumultuous one for women's college basketball, and all of us involved with the sport hope the silver lining of San Antonio will be a renewed focus on correcting inequities whenever they exist and helping our sport reach its full potential. We're pleased to see movement on some of the recommendations made by the Kaplan Law Firm in their July report assessing the NCAA tournament, and I hope some of the more commercially complicated recommendations of the report, like a combined Final Four, which I personally favor, will get the full and fair hearing they deserve in the coming months by the various groups involved in the decision-making process. It's otherwise been an exciting past few months for the women's game, with Team USA returning from the Tokyo Games with their 7th gold medal, thanks to a roster that included 7 former Big East players. One of them was one of the coaches. And then on Sunday, the 25th edition of the WNBA Finals concluded in thrilling fashion with the Chicago Sky's first title. I know Coach Bruno was smiling from his courtside seat because I saw him on television, and Coach Auriemma probably from his couch to see Allie Quigley and Stephanie Dolson, 2 former Big Easters, leading the charge for the victors. With the 50th anniversary of Title IX looming next June, I suspect much attention will be aimed at the progress women's basketball and women's sports have made over the past 5 decades, as well as what we all need to do to keep that trajectory moving upward. This past May marked 40 years since my playing days ended at the University of Virginia. I was 5 years old when I went to college. And I can tell you that despite some of the rhetoric to the contrary, women's basketball is in a much better place than it was when I left college in 1981. I'm personally heartened in many ways by how far the sport has come, and I hope the progress and the tangible victories that have accompanied this long journey won't be lost in the narrative. We plan to commemorate Title IX with a series of Big East promotional activities starting next February, continuing through our conference tournament in March, and then extending into the fall, so all of our women's teams have a chance to be part of the reflections about this transformative law. More to come in the coming months. But back to the here and now, some key accomplishments from last year bear noting. UConn kept up its winning ways by ending its first season back in the Big East with a bang, with its 20th regular season crown and 19th tournament title, defeating Marquette in the championship game at Mohegan Sun Arena before moving on to the NCAA postseason and its 13th consecutive Final Four appearance. Marquette also advanced to the NCAA tournament for the 4th year in a row. 3 teams, Creighton, DePaul, and Villanova, also accepted NIT bids, with Nova advancing to the 3rd round under first-year coach Denise Dillon. We, of course, hope to build collectively on those efforts this year and beyond. Gino Auriemma added to his many career milestones by winning the Big East Coach of the Year honor and also eclipsing 1,100 career wins, moving him to number 2 on the NCAA all-time wins list. Coach, congratulations, truly an amazing accomplishment, and I'm sure many additional milestones await you. We want to commend UConn's Paige Beckers, who together with Maya Moore are the only players in our league's history to sweep Big East Player and Freshman of the Year honors in the same season. Paige went on to collect nearly every major national award, including the Wooden Award, Naismith Trophy, and AP Player of the Year, making her the first player in NCAA history to earn those 3 prestigious honors in her freshman campaign. Hats off as well to Villanova's Maddie Siegrist, who as a sophomore won both the scoring and rebounding titles and was a Katrina McLean Award finalist, which recognizes the top power forward in women's NCAA Division I college basketball. And our congrats also go to DePaul's Lexi Held, who was named Big East Women's Basketball Scholarate of the Year, the 8th Blue Demon to earn that distinction. We know many more accomplishments await these young women and many others across our 11 programs, and I, for one, can't wait to see what they got next. Get it? We got next. Okay. All right. See if you're paying attention. Among other highlights last year was, and this was a significant one, was the first women's basketball game ever to air on the Fox Broadcast Network, and it was one of ours. A DePaul-UConn contest last January that drew 500,000 viewers. We also staged the first of our 3-year arrangement to play our conference tournament at Mohegan Sun Arena following a 7-year run in the Midwest. This year marks the 40th Big East Women's Tournament anniversary as well. We know Mohegan Sun will continue to provide an outstanding environment and the kind of setting we want for this marquee event, our participants, and of course our fans. Looking to the upcoming year, conference play starts on December 3rd with a full 20-game schedule planned. We're now entering the 9th year of our long-term national television agreement with Fox Sports, and this year, Fox will televise 15 regular season women's basketball games. CBS Sports Network will air another 4, and SNY will broadcast an additional 18 games. Fox Sports 1 and Fox Sports 2 will also cover the Big East Tournament, giving us more than 40 linear exposures for the season. We're also very excited that the Fox Broadcast Network will air 2 games this year, UConn at Marquette on February 13th and Tennessee at UConn on February 6th. So mark your calendars. Over the summer, we also announced an expanded deal with Flow Sports, currently the home of the Big East Digital Network. Flow is set to stream more than 600 conference events this year, including more than 130 women's basketball games not otherwise selected to air on linear TV. Additional content is available on the Flow platform, including Fast Break, our conference weekly women's feature show led by our co-hosts John Fanta and Megan Caffrey. We have many, many compelling stories to tell about all 11 programs, and we hope these outlets will provide the foundation that we need to help bring our athletes and our coaches the attention that you all deserve. Switching gears, we remain deeply committed to doing our part to combat social and racial injustice and have taken many steps over the past year in furtherance of this goal. As I noted this morning, last year we created an advocacy program called Be the Change, which brings together stakeholders within the league in a safe space to talk about how to fight prejudice and build more welcoming environments on our campuses. The tag gained traction last year, and so student athletes across all Big East sports, including our men's and women's basketball teams, will wear a Be the Change patch on their uniforms during their respective 21-22 seasons. We were excited to announce last month that Georgetown University was the inaugural winner of the John Thompson Jr. Award, which we established a year ago to annually recognize significant efforts within the conference to combat discrimination and advance positive societal change. I want to congratulate again Lee Reed, Coach Jimmy Howard, Sharon Brummel, athletes across all 30 Hoya sports, and the entire Georgetown community for their unwavering commitment to carry forward Coach Thompson's vision of a more equitable world. I also wanted to announce, as I did this morning, that we plan to conduct a special promotion during Black History Month to honor the Black Fives. These were teams of men's and women's players that barnstormed the country between 1904 and 1950 before the NBA integrated at that time, opening the door for legions of African American players that would then follow. Black Fives teams were based in many current Big East markets, including New York, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, Indianapolis, Chicago, and other cities. We will be celebrating 11 men's and 11 women's Black Five teams for their pioneering efforts throughout the month of February, with shooting shirts at selected games and an in-arena educational element. We want to thank Claude Johnson and the Black Fives Foundation for letting us help raise awareness about this important chapter in basketball history. I wanted to extend my thanks to Tracy Ellis Ward, the Big East Senior Associate Commissioner for Women's Basketball, who this past year assumed the additional role of Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer for the conference. for her leadership and her tireless efforts in these two critical areas. I also want to give a shout out to Deb Williamson, who continues to capably manage our officiating program, including through all the havoc the pandemic created for our refs last year. And then last but not least, I just wanted to report on the 6th edition of Transition Game, which is our annual personal development program for our upper-class women's basketball student athletes, which we conducted back in September. It was virtual rather than in person, which was a bummer, but we were glad to have the opportunity to offer insights to 37 young women about what life might be or will be like when their playing days in the Big East are over. Our featured speakers included Monica McNutt and Dorothy Adamako from Georgetown, UConn's Morgan Tuck, St. John's Jasmine Sina, and Villanova's Brianna Weiss, who was recently named USA Basketball's new women's national team director. As always, I will say our players and our former players never cease to amaze us in the way they represent their schools, the conference, and themselves, and as they articulate their determination to make an impact and to be forces for change. So I'm going to stop there. Pam, if you're still in the wings, come back. Turn things back over to you. I want to thank everybody again for joining us today. You're going to be hearing from our coaches and our student athletes shortly, and we very much hope to see everybody live and in person this season. So thanks again for being here.
At this time, I'd like to invite all of our head coaches up for a photo with Val.
Man, Flan, stand next to me.
At this time, we're going to send Butler, DePaul, Providence, and Xavier to the TV outlets, and everyone else to your team tables.
Welcome back, Megan Caffrey alongside Kim Adams. Now let's waste no more time. We'll have some interviews coming up in just a bit, which we're very excited about, but let's take a look at the preseason poll. The UConn Huskies this year chosen as the unanimous preseason favorite, coming in at number 1, DePaul at 2nd. To round out the top 3, you've got the Seton Hall Pirates. Kim, what stands out to you when you take a look at this?
Well, I think that 2 to 4 is, you look at the vote numbers, that's
Yes.
pretty close there. And that's something that we'll certainly be monitoring. We know DePaul probably has a bad taste in their mouth for how they ended the season last year. Same with Seton Hall. They were looking great towards the end of the season and then were shocked by Creighton in the Big East tournament. They return a ton of experience. And then Marquette, Megan Duffy at the helm, a lot of key returners, Lauren Van Clunen, coming back for that 5th year. So I think that area is going to be really interesting to monitor. I'm looking at St. John's at number 7 as a team who could potentially move up a little bit. They have a bunch of returners and some really interesting transfers as well. So obviously UConn at the top, but I think we could see some interesting movement, Megan.
And I think when you're looking at a lot of these key returners, especially in the teams who are coming in preseason 1 through 4, it's a lot of the junior class as well. I remember when the junior class was just freshmen with Seton Hall's Maya Jackson, Lauren Park Lane, St. John's Leilani Correa. I was like, I cannot wait until they are now upperclassmen. And so that's the experience you're starting to see now as upperclassmen. Tons of minutes when they were freshmen, and now that experience, the leadership is now coming through a little bit more with those teams.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what's unique about this season, we were just on the men's side, and there was a ton of movement on those teams, players going in and out. But on the women's side, it's pretty stable. Some teams did bring in some key transfers, which I'm sure we'll get to, but a lot of the best players in the conference are still here. And like you said, a lot of them are now going from sophomore to junior year. They're sophomores who have had big responsibilities who are now stepping into that veteran role.
Yeah, and one freshman who is now as sophomore is our preseason player of the year. But before we get to Paige Beckers, let's look at the preseason All Big East team. We've got UConn Huskies, Olivia Nelson-Adota, Kristen Williams, plenty of DePaul players there as well. And then there's that one now junior, Leilani Correa, who's on there for St. John's.
Yeah, this is a really talented list. Very guard heavy, perimeter heavy. Looking at Andra Espinoza-Hunter to have a big year. She was a transfer into Tony Bazzella's group last year, and I think she's really going to settle in. But you see how dominant that UConn trio is at the top with Paige Beckers, the player of the year. But like you said, very veteran heavy here.
Tons of experience that you're looking at there. Now let's take a look at our preseason player of the year, Paige Beckers. She comes in now, her sophomore season, looking to make a lot of noise, if that's even possible, after all of the accolades she was able to earn last season, her rookie year.
Yeah, Paige Beckers swept just about every National Player of the Year title that exists in the universe, and rightfully so. And I think she was even better than we were expecting. Obviously, there was a ton of pressure on her coming in, but she was unfazed by it. She went out there, she led her team, and it wasn't just scoring. I thought she touched every aspect of the game, whether it was rebounding, assists, steals, and we're excited to see what Paige brings in year 2.
And we'll be able to talk with her in just a bit coming up. But first, let's send it over to Johnny Soper, who's with one of the Georgetown Hoyas.
All right, Kim and Megan, thanks very much. I'm with Georgetown sophomore guard Kelsey Ransom. You had a great freshman campaign. All Big East freshman team, you led the team in scoring. How would you describe the transition between your freshman year and now entering your sophomore year?
Well, I think the team has rebuilt and come together and really put our heads together to prove ourselves this year. I know personally I've been improving every day, trying to get better every day. I know my team has been doing the same. I think our coaches, everybody in the staff is really looking forward to a positive turnaround for our program.
It was a tough year last year, but you guys returned 4 starters. Describe the energy in practice. How are you guys ready for the season?
Every day, everyone's coming in being competitive. Everybody wants the best for each other. I think that's very, very special. From our vets to our babies, everyone's coming in, bringing their best every day, getting better every day, and putting their best foot forward. We all support each other, which I think you can't go wrong with that.
The biggest strength of this Georgetown team is what?
Our unity. Our unity, I don't think anybody can beat that. And as long as we stay together, I don't think anything will stand in our way this year.
You accomplished a lot as a freshman. Is there pressure that comes with that entering your sophomore year? Is it excitement? Tell me what it's like.
I just think that my team, my coaches support me enough and instill enough confidence in me that I know I can go out, every practice, every game and bring my best, and they have my back all the way.
Kelsey, good luck this year. And we'll throw it back to Kim and Megan.
We're back in person for Big East Media Day. We're so excited. What's been one of the highlights so far today for you?
For me, it's been in this beautiful gym like MSG. I don't think that it will ever become like a regular building. I think that everybody just gets like starstruck whenever they walk into this gym. So, and seeing everybody in person, that too. Like, I had to be away for the last season, but coming back and seeing everything happening and everything ramping up for the season is beautiful.
Yeah, Anita, I was just going to ask you about that. You weren't able to get back here last season due to a bunch of complications going on, but now you're back. So what are you excited about getting back on the floor with your team?
Yeah, so I had to come back and play my last season and have a beautiful farewell with my team and the experience that I've had so far. So I'm excited about every little thing that is like on the floor, off the floor, the practices, the teams, the coaches. It's just being away for a year gives you a new perspective on what you have and the experience that you're having on a day-to-day. So yeah.
The last season you played, you did lead the league in blocks. What other areas of your game are you looking to really showcase in your final season?
For my final season, I am looking to be a great rebounder for my team. I want to rebound the offensive and defensive side of the court, and I want to contribute with points. My goal is to average a double-double in the Big East and ramp up until then. But yes, those are my goals. I think that that's gonna help my team a lot, and that's what I'm aiming for.
Goal of a double-double. I love that. While you were away, Coach Howard brought in a lot of talented young pieces. So what have you seen now being back in Grange with them? What's working well with kind of blending your leadership and some leadership of other players with the emerging freshmen and sophomores that Coach Howard has brought in?
I have to say that the personalities are so beautiful, and the way that we gel together in the culture that Coach Howard and the staff has established for us is just beautiful to work in. And I love working. I love preparing for games. So like I think that's the most important things. And then when you step on the floor, everything just comes naturally. So yeah, I've been blessed with this experience.
Well, Anita, we are excited to see you step back out on the court this season. We're going to toss it back over to Johnny Soper, who has got a Seton Hall Pirate.
Thanks, Megan. I'm with Lauren Park Lane, the junior guard from Seton Hall. What a year it was for you last year. Seton Hall this year returns two great scorers. You're one of them. How would you describe your feeling going into your junior year?
We have a very good group right now. Adding Sydney, Ariel Cummings, and also Cartesia Dean and KT. You know, we've been building a lot of chemistry starting from the summertime. So just getting to know each other, getting to play with each other has been like a great experience. We've been with each other since June, and we're looking really good. I'm really excited.
You're on the preseason All Big East first team. How would you describe how you've taken the mantle of leadership for this program?
With that award, you know, I'm just really grateful. You know, my teammates put me in the position to get this, of course. But, you know, with that, the work doesn't stop. You know, I'm still working hard. You know, I'm trying to get even more, you know, finish out the season really strong this year, make a tournament run, do everything that, you know, accomplish all our dreams that we have as a group.
It's going to be an exciting year for the Seton Hall Pirates. You guys got a ton of offense. How would you describe the offense that you lead?
Fast pace, you know, up-tempo, a lot of threes. You know, now we have Sydney, who's 6'5", you know, a lot of dump downs to her. It's going to be really exciting. The way we play is very exciting, and I'm just super excited to get started, honestly.
Good luck with the season. Lauren Park Lane. Megan?
Thanks, Johnny. We are joined with UConn's Paige Beckers. Paige, Kim and I were talking a little bit earlier about just about every award that there was out there last season. You won as a freshman. Now you're coming in a little bit more experience under your belt. What are you looking forward to sophomore year?
Just a road to a national championship. I think we came up short last year. You talked about all the awards that we got last year, but we came up short with the national championship. So just getting back onto the road to win that, I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
And Paige, what do you think is different about this year's team now with you having a year under your belt, some of the other players having more chemistry together? What can give you that final push to get to that national championship game and get the trophy?
I think it's just experience. Last year we were really young. We had 6 freshmen and then Avina, who never played in a UConn uniform before. So I think all of us coming back from last year and just having that experience and knowledge and bringing it to this year and this year's freshmen, I think that's important for us.
How are you growing more and more into your leadership role? Last year, a little bit of that natural leadership tendency had to come with your performance, but now you've got a freshman class underneath you. You've got Azzi Fudd. How are you taking some of these younger players out of underneath your wing this year?
Yeah, I think I just gained confidence in my leadership ability last year. I just tried to come in and get respect from everybody, from the underclassmen, the upperclassmen, and now that I have that respect, I think I'm learning to use my voice more and just being vocal and leading by example as well.
Are we screaming out there?
Nah, I keep it at an inside voice.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, it was an incredible freshman year. But if we know you're super hungry. You're not going to be satisfied. What was your off season like? What were you working on, and where do you think you can elevate your game this season?
Well, actually, I got a surgery this off season on my ankle, so a lot of it was rehab. But that led me to watch a lot of film last year, other players, and just sort of expanding my knowledge on what I can do and what I can get better at. So just a lot of talking to coach and other coaching staff. And I don't know, I watched a lot of film this summer.
Any film on yourself, film on other players?
Yeah, I watched a lot of film of myself last year. My tendencies, my habits, my good things, my bad things, and a lot of other players as well.
While you go through rehab as well, you learn a lot of other things about your body. Were there any other areas that you recognize that I could build a little bit more strength here that now I can see come about in your game this season?
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in the weight room. Obviously getting my
big.
Yeah, I'm trying. But I lost a lot of strength in my right leg, so just trying to get that back, and my ankle. I sort of saw how my ankle being weak affected all of my other abilities in my right leg. So just getting the strength back in my lower body, and then working on my upper body when I couldn't with my lower was really important.
And Megan mentioned AZ, one of your very good friends, maybe your best friend. How far do you guys go back? I know you've been teammates before, and how have you seen that early chemistry developing in practice so far?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it all the time. We only know each other for like 4 years. We've only played together once with USA Basketball, but it feels like I've known her my whole lifetime. And we haven't played with each other for a while, but just being back on the court with her, it's like we've been playing together our whole lives. So she makes it easy to play with. She knocks down shots, so I just got to get it to her when she's open.
We got to learn a little bit more of the character traits of this UConn Huskies team, right? There's so much press about you guys, but maybe who's one of your underrated teammates who we might not know too much about?
Nika, I think she's the character. She's really outgoing, really fun, really energetic, and I think she's this team's like the funny one on the team. So
yeah. I think we might have a couple more coming on.
We got a live transition.
We got a
we're
live.
bringing the double chair out.
There we go. We've got more UConn Huskies joining us.
there we go.
Well, we got another UConn Husky here. Hello, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. We were just talking about the character traits and everything of your team. I mean, for you, how would you describe your team in a couple of words?
Ooh, I would say probably competitive. A couple words. Great energy. I feel like we have great energy all the time. I would say probably those two, competitive and high energy.
Paige, how about you?
I would say the same: energetic, competitive, outgoing, loud, obnoxious.
The list goes on.
AZ Fudd, the preseason freshman of the year. I'm sure it's felt like a long time coming from when you committed to finally getting on the court with your practice jersey and your teammates. What have those first couple weeks of practice been like with your teammates and with Coach Auriemma?
They've been hard, but honestly, it's been a lot of fun. It's kind of everything I expected. I expected a challenge. That's why I chose UConn, and I've loved the hard parts and the parts when we're all playing well. I've loved every part of it so far.
And we asked Paige how it's been with you two playing together. I felt like you guys have known each other longer than 4 years. Paige told us it's only 4. But what has it been like reuniting with such a good friend, and how are you seeing the chemistry develop between you guys?
It's a lot of fun. I think I'm definitely really lucky to have her. Just like in practices, like if I'm doing something wrong, always go over to her and ask like, what can I do? Like, what do I need to change? Also, just because she's such a good player, like her IQ is so high, so I know she's gonna give me tips for me to be better. But I think I'm really excited for games to start, just for this year to really get going, to get to play with her and get to really play with everyone else.
I'm glad you guys asked that because she doesn't say those nice things to me. So
Ooh, she kept it PG for the cameras.
she did. She did.
She had it. You're taking her under your wing a little bit. She's had us to butter you up.
Yeah.
But AZ, what are you most excited for? I know you haven't played in your first collegiate game yet, so practice is totally different than that first game. And now there's fans who are going to be in the stand this year. Your first game, a UConn home game. What anticipation do you have? What have some of your older teammates told you what it's like to play?
They were kind of just saying how great the atmosphere is, especially after not really getting fans last year, how every game is going to be packed. And I'm just excited to get to play with all of them and not have to play against them or against practice players, get to play with them against a different opponent. And I'm just really excited.
Well, thank you very much, Paige, AZ. I think there's another UConn Husky waiting for us with Johnny. Johnny, we'll send it over to you.
Megan and Kim, let's keep it rolling with the Connecticut Huskies and Olivia Nelson-Ododa, the senior forward for UConn. Let's ask you about Paige Bueckers first. A lot of great players have come through Connecticut. Very few, though, accomplished what she did as a freshman. What does she bring to your team? What have you seen from her from a leadership perspective?
I mean, she's a tenacious player. She has a great IQ, and I think she brings a certain maturity, especially, which isn't common to see for young players like that. And so, along with her leadership, she's a great player, but also a great teammate too.
You've been a stellar defensive stalwart for the Huskies. You were Big East Co-Defensive Player of the Year. How would you describe how you approach your defensive game?
Each possession, just trying to make an impact, trying to get a stop. That's what, we focus on in practice, and that's what Coach emphasizes. And so each game, I just try and go out there and do that.
Everyone knows Connecticut, high expectations. You guys won the 20th Big East crown last year in your first year back in the conference. How do you manage those expectations?
Definitely just try and tackle it with maturity and leadership. I have 2 other great seniors, Kristen and Avina, just to keep each other going and to push our other teammates. And really it just comes down to just having a mature aspect with everything and keeping the team going, basically.
There was one big thing missing from last year's season, and that was the Connecticut fans. How excited are you to have the UConn fans back in person this year?
We're super excited. That's half of the fun is just having the fans there, the energy, the crowd to feed off of. And so just to have everybody able to come back and watch our games and just come and see us play, it means everything. So we're super excited about that.
Your senior year, what do you most look forward to?
Just to be able to play with this group of ladies and get after it. We've been going since June and, finishing up our preseason, going into practice now, and just looking forward to our games. We're excited, and we've been preparing, and we're just really looking forward to how our season's going to unfold.
Olivia, thanks very much. Good luck this year.
Thank you.
All right, Megan, back to you.
Johnny, we're with Creighton's Emma Ronsick, sophomore forward. You're coming in sophomore season this year. We're talking all about it. You've got fans in the stands, your first media day in person, first time in New York City. What are some of the highlights? We got to know some of the highlights of New york before we get into the X's and O's.
Yeah, definitely. I walked to Madison Square Garden last night with a men's player and Tatum. That was really exciting. We saw a bunch of people got some ice cream last night.
What flavor?
It was actually frozen yogurt, so I got like coffee and vanilla.
Yeah.
With sprinkles. It was very good. It was very good.
Emma, let's talk about your sophomore season coming up. Because of COVID last year, as broadcasters, reporters, we weren't really traveling to the Midwest. We hadn't really seen you play, honestly, until in person, till the Big East tournament, and I was blown away. I was like, this girl is killing it. So what can we expect from you in your sophomore year after a great freshman year that's how you make all Big East freshman team?
I think this year it's just maintaining consistency with my game. I've practiced, I've put in the work, and it's kind of just like building up to this season. I'm like, not forgetting about last season, but just like realizing what I did last season and just build off of it.
What areas specifically are you looking to improve in your game? You had 28 points you put up against DePaul last year. Offensively, defensively, were there any specific areas you honed in on?
I'd say definitely defensively. I think my coaches will attest to that one as well. But and I think offensively too, just getting stronger with the ball, especially in the paint, improving my three. I mean, there isn't really a part of my game that I can't improve.
Yeah.
So I think it's just all around, and especially focusing on defense, that'll really help me get to the next level, I think.
And last season as a team, I mean, all teams really went through adversity, but you guys had a ton of injuries, pauses left and right, and then shocked Seton Hall in that Big East. I believe it was the quarterfinal game. So what can we expect from the Creighton Blue Jays this season? Hopefully everyone stays healthy. Where can you guys kind of keep up that momentum that you had in the Big East tournament?
Yeah, I mean, last year, I feel like when we did go through ups and downs, people sitting out, we went through a month pause in December of no games, no practices, and we still pushed through. We still, like, played as a team, and I think that is going to go along with this year, that we stayed together. We only graduated 2 girls last year. We only have 2 new girls, so we're returning most of our team. And I think that last year is just going to attest to what we can do this year, just stay together, play together, and I think we're going to have a really good season this year.
Off the court question. Emma's from South Dakota.
Yes.
I think this is the first person I've met from South Dakota.
Yep.
So I was just wondering, what is it like in South Dakota? What's the hoop scene like?
Hoop scene. The hoop
You
scene
were the
is-
hoop scene.
No, not me, but I don't know. I just say like the scenery, not in my side of the state. I'm from Sioux Falls, the opposite side of the state, Rapid City. It's got Mount Rushmore, the Badlands.
Wow.
So that part is prettier. But
I think we needed an all-access trip back home.
Yeah.
With Emma to South Dakota. Big East digital coverage.
I think so too.
And why we got into basketball versus, say, hockey, right?
Oh,
They got a lot of hockey there.
They do have. I feel like basketball is probably not the main focus in South Dakota.
Yeah.
But for me, it was.
Well, Emma, thank you very much
Yeah,
for
of
your time.
course,
Best
of
of luck
course.
this season.
Thank
We're
you.
going to send it back over to Johnny.
All right, Megan, I got Andra Espinoza-Hunter from Seton Hall. Seton Hall this year got a lot of excitement coming into this year. I was just talking with Lauren Park Lane. Impact transfer has been kind of a buzzword in college basketball, but that really was the case last year when you came into the program. How would you describe what kind of impact you were able to make and how you can take that moving into this season?
I think coming in January, I was extremely nervous, but my teammates and my coaching staff had a lot of trust and faith in me, and they made the transition extremely smooth. So a big credit and thank you to them. And coming into this next season, same thing. Their trust and faith in me is what's going to help me become a better leader and player for this team.
Watching some highlights from last year, one of the things that stands out is your ability to shoot the 3 ball. How important is that this year for Seton Hall's offense?
I think it's extremely important to be a consistent shooter and to be that constant threat for my team, especially now that we brought in 3 new 6'2 plus players. I think that's going to help us stretch the floor.
Seton Hall picked to finish 3rd in the Big East this year. It's going to be a tight race in there between 2, 3, 4, 5, bunch of teams that can make runs. How excited are you for the competitiveness that's to come in the Big East Conference season?
Extremely excited. I know myself and the girls and the coaches have really looking forward to start conference play, and we're just really looking forward to play against everyone in the Big East.
Preseason All-Big East selection for you, high expectations. How do you manage all of that?
Just by staying humble and staying confident, having long talks with Coach Jose every day about what my expectations are, and just making sure that I'm able to live up to his standards and my own.
One of the games that I really like watching is Seton Hall St. John's. Those games always seem to bring the energy. Every possession matters. It's just another level. How would you describe the competition between your cross-state rival?
I think it's great. The rivalry is great. It's a game that we all look forward to as well as the staff. And, now having fans, I can't wait till we play St. John's at home and also on the road as well. So really looking forward to it.
Yeah, Walsh Gymnasium got a little facelift over the offseason. That's going to be pretty exciting. The fans coming back, the new arena. Just describe what your feeling is going into the year.
I'm extremely grateful that our gymnasium was able to get redone, and I'm really looking forward to playing with the boards and everything, as well as having fans.
Andrea, good luck. Thanks for talking with us. Megan?
Thanks so much, Johnny. We are joined with another Georgetown Hoya. We have Grace Ann Bennett with us. So, Grace Ann, first off, I have to say I'm very happy that this is not panning down because there's a lot of heat down here between the two of you with these sneaks that we've got on.
These are really cool.
The Hoyas are matching. They got
we have
some
like a nice monochrome Jordan 1 moment
ones.
happening.
Yeah.
It's very clean.
We'll have to
very
get that
clean,
on
very
the camera at some
Clean
point.
and crispy.
Brand new.
Brand new.
Yep.
Brand new for Media Day.
Oh, there
Oh,
we
and
go.
they did it.
Go get the heel. You see the shine?
Metallic.
That's so nice.
I'm over here too with the 4s, just trying to hop
Those
on
are
the
sweet.
the Hoyas Jordan bandwagon, trying to get a few extra pairs that may have
Yeah, we gotta
fallen
get you
off
some
the
navy
truck.
ones.
Grace Ann, when Coach Howard, he brought in Sugar Rogers now to the coaching staff. For you, what's it like to be able to learn from one of the Georgetown greats?
It's amazing. I mean, she is a prime example of someone going to Georgetown, being successful, going to the next level, having coaching success, entrepreneur success. She's just like an amazing role model and really refreshing energy. She's youthful and relatable and so direct, and she just has like a plethora of knowledge that she shares with us every day. It's really incredible.
And Grace Ann, we were talking to you about how you had to mature quickly on this
Yeah,
team.
for
Last year as a sophomore, you were one of the oldest players. Now as a junior, how has that leadership experience evolved over the last year or two?
I think that was a blessing in disguise, that I had to really grow up quickly and be a reliable, consistent person for my teammates and a leader. I was in a captain role my sophomore year, and getting that experience really prepared me to feel comfortable in it my junior year and feel like a veteran, because that's what they need me to be.
What did you learn about the type of leader that you are?
Definitely one by example. I just want to do what I can for my teammates and be there for them, and also to be vocal, but to just walk the walk. Yeah.
And now with another year under your belt for all of your teammates, Anita coming back, you guys were really right there in a lot of those games last year. Maybe you were with them for a half or with them for 3 quarters. What can happen this season to kind of take that next step, get over the hump, and get some of those wins?
I mean, first of all, we have that to hang on to. That with the situation we were in last year, we were right there in so many games, and we had 9 players a lot of the season. So to have depth now and experience, that's just another level up, and that's 4 quarters to me and a lot of wins.
And I think Coach Howard has added in some transfers to the mix as well. What can we expect from some of the new additions to the team?
You can expect a really gelled culture, because the people that he brought in just fit in perfectly with what we were trying to build. Our point guard, we have Kaylin West. She's super fast. Mary Clockerty from Lehigh, great shooter. Just all around, like a lot better. Yeah.
What does that say about your team, too, to be able to have that many different transfers coming in and to gel as a unit that quickly?
I think it speaks volumes to what our coaches set the tone as. They wanted us to spend time together off the court and to have that unification, and it happened.
And we got to talk Lake George again.
Yes.
Grace Ann is
All
from
day. I love it.
Lake George, New York. If you
Yes.
were putting together a visitor's brochure, we've never been. What are the spots we need to hit this summer if we go?
So if you're going in the summer, it's going to be really beautiful weather. You have to go to the lake, but I have to do a shout out for my family's horse farm. We own a horseback riding stable, so you have to come to Mountain View Rocking Bee Ranch, go horseback riding, and then go swimming, go on a boat, and then probably go to dinner somewhere on the lake. It's really nice. Yeah,
That
everyone
sounds
should
amazing.
go.
Yeah, that sounds magical. I mean, watch
Horse
out. Kim and I might just go up there to get a little foliage
Yes.
before
Just
basketball
let me
season
know.
starts.
Let me know. I'll be practicing, but I'll have someone meet you there.
Text mom, shoot
Yeah.
mom a quick
She can meet
text. Well, Grace Ann, thank you very much. Best of luck this season. We're going to send it back over to Johnny.
Megan and Kim, I'm with Georgetown senior forward Jillian Archer. Georgetown this year brings back 4 starters. You guys have had all spring, all summer to practice together. How would you describe what's your feeling heading into this season?
Honestly, I'm extremely excited. I think that the spring and summer has really helped us with cohesion and chemistry on the court, which can only carry into a great season.
You came in as a transfer from USC to Georgetown. that can sometimes be a tough transition, but how do you think you've handled that and grown into your own with the Hoyas?
Honestly, it was definitely difficult at first, just coming all the way to the East Coast from home, but I was really blessed to have such a great environment at Georgetown that really made it a lot easier, and they just had such open arms and a great family atmosphere.
Watching some highlights from last year, you were second on the team with a 47.9 field goal percentage. What kind of shot do you like to take? How would you describe your offensive game?
I think that I'm one of those players that really feeds off of my teammates, just really doing whatever I can to have the biggest impact and role that I can in a game, as well as building off of the energy that my teammates already bring. Definitely nice around the rim, but wouldn't happen without Kelsey Ransom and all of her assists.
Georgetown last year was a tough season. It was a tough year for everybody, dealing with COVID and all the challenges that brought. But what would you tell people who maybe count out the Hoyas this year? What would you tell them?
I think that last year spoke for itself in our perseverance and our grit through all of the adversity. You know, we come out on the court every single day, every practice, every game, ready to fight, and we're going to give it our all no matter what.
What most excites you about this season in particular? Is it the fans coming back? Is it a certain game?
I'd have to say having a full roster, that's great energy on the court, as well as having the fans back in the crowd. You know, we really feed off of their energy, and being able to look up in the stands and just see people and their reactions will be a lot of fun.
Well, best of luck this year, Jillian. Thanks for spending some time with us. Megan?
Thanks, Johnny. We have our first head coach joining us, Creighton's
Welcome
Jim
to the
Flannery.
stands.
Welcome.
Good to be here.
Coach, looking at your squad this year, you returned 6 of your top 7 scorers. How are you really looking to lean on experience this season?
Yeah, well, that one of the silver linings last year is we were able to play a lot of freshmen because of our injury issues and COVID issues and just kind of the way the year shook out. But, I think that's been, we've seen in practice and really even through the summer, how much ahead of where we probably were a year ago. And it helps that we have more access to them, fewer COVID restrictions, all that stuff has made a difference. So I'm not as worried about scoring the ball, but I still think we're young enough that our defense and our communication at that end is going to need to get better. But I really like what we can do. We've got some versatile bigs who can help us probably, and I think we maybe can be a little less reliant on the three-point shot than we've been in the past, which we'll still rely on it, but hopefully we'll a little bit less. So on those nights where we don't shoot it, we have something else that we can go to.
Mm-hmm. And, Coach, we were talking to Emma just a short while ago about you guys had a ton of adversity with the pauses, the injuries, and then you came in and really had that shocking win at the Big East tournament. You were super impressive. Obviously, Temi Sarda had a lot to do with that. Yeah. Unfortunately, she's doing her thing in the real world now. But do you think that momentum from the tournament has carried over to this season at all?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the way we played at the end, I thought we were a good basketball team by the end of the year. I don't, and
you'd like to be one at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. But I think you can look back and understand why we weren't good earlier or why we weren't as good earlier based on some of the circumstances and, to get healthy and get a rhythm. When you don't get a rhythm in terms of games, that's a part of it. But and I thought the end of the year was great from a confidence standpoint. For instance, Carly Batchelor Jr., who, had a fractured hand and sat for 6 or 7 weeks, came back and really played well at the end of the year. And I think that's going to help her. It has helped her in the offseason. But, Morgan Molly, a kid who really, Emma had a great year from beginning to end, whereas Morgan and, some of our other younger players got the experience the latter half of the year because of some of our injuries and COVID issues. So I really think that we took some momentum into the offseason. Now we still have to, continue to get better, but I think we will. I think we got a good group that's worked pretty hard and kind of understands how competitive our league is and our non-conference schedule too.
Now, Coach, when you look at the group of versatile bigs, as you called them, what excites you the most about that? I remember during the tournament, we even caught on with just how athletic they are when you look at them. So what's exciting to be able to coach that underneath?
Yeah, well, they could. We've got a lot of inside-outside players. I mean, we've got. You talked about Emma and Morgan Molly and Carly Batchelor, and Mallory Brake is another, 6'2" sophomore who I think can play for us this year. And they're all different, which is great. Like they're, some of them are a little bit more catch and shoot. Others can put the ball on the floor a little bit more. But I think we've got, kind of a plethora of versatile bigs, or hybrids as we call them. And, I think that can help you overcome foul trouble. It can, you can play to matchups certain nights where maybe somebody's going to be a little more effective than somebody else. So I'm excited about, the versatility of that group.
Coach, thank you very much for joining us. We're going to send it back over to Johnny Soper.
Megan and Kim, we've got our first Marquette Golden Eagle, and it's redshirt sophomore guard Jordan King. Marquette has had a great run. You guys have been to 5 straight Big East championship games. You were 19-7 last year, a ton of momentum coming into this year. How excited are you for the season?
Yeah, I mean, we're extremely excited to get going again, and as you mentioned, just the success that Marquette basketball has had for the last several years, and the NCAA tournament run, and being in the Big East championship yet again. We're just excited to get back and get our team going and prepared for another season and another year with those goals set in mind.
One of the big reasons for your success has been coaching success. Megan Duffy now coming into her 3rd season. How would you describe the way that she's able to rally you guys together and play so well?
Yeah, Coach Duffy's been great since the first day that she got her hands on our team freshman year, and the impact that she had, and just how she's built this program and this culture has been something that has been really special to be a part of, and special to be around her every day and continuing to learn, especially with the experience she had as a player at the point guard level, and me learning from her. So we're extremely blessed with her as a coach and the way that she's motivated and determined to get us better every day.
You and I were just talking about the transfers and how that's impacted college basketball. Marquette has a couple of transfers of their own. How would you describe those transfers have been able to come into the program, how they've been able to gel, and what we can expect to see from them this season?
Yeah, Carissa McLaughlin and Kennedy Miles, they've been great so far. They're coming in with a lot of college experience, which obviously is really good for them and us in general. But the way that they've been able to, kind of impact our offense and our game overall has been really special. And we're continuing to develop them and get them, integrated in our program. So, it's a work in progress every day, as it is every season. But really, truly excited to see how they continue to develop and impact us.
Marquette has been a tough out the past couple of seasons. I've been to the Al McGuire Center. I know it's crazy. I know how loud it can get. But last year we missed all of that. What is it going to mean to this team to have the Marquette faithful back in the stands?
I mean, I was just talking about that to, somebody else, and honestly, when you asked that question, I got chills a little bit. There was nothing like it freshman year, coming in and seeing those same faces every game, day in, day out, same faces and the same loyal supporters. So, I mean, it did hurt to not have the fans like that last year, but we're extremely excited to have them back and have, the crowd going again.
Well, best of luck this year. Jordan King from Marquette. Megan?
Ariel Cummings.
Thanks, Johnny. We're now joined with Seton Hall head coach Tony Bozzella. Coach, looking at your squad this year, you returned 3 starters, a couple of key transfers for your team as well. What excites you the most looking ahead to this season?
Megan, nice to see you. Kim, nice to see you.
Always a pleasure.
It excites me as our players. They're really into it. They've been great. Someone said to me, how do you motivate your players? And I'm like, I don't have to motivate them. They're actually motivating me. We have a lot of talent, which is great. A tribute to my staff to get really good players, and a tribute to the kids because they help recruit each other. So we have a great group of young ladies, a great mixture of big kids, guards, and I'm excited.
And Coach, you basically wrote the rules on transfers. You were doing transfers before transfers were a thing. This has been a big part of your recruiting piece, but I understand you have a couple of big impact players coming in. One of them is here today, Sydney Cooks. What can you tell us about what you expect those transfers to bring to the team?
We have 3 transfers, and we have Cartesia Dean, who sat out last year as a JUCO transfer. She had hurt her Achilles. So we have 4 new impact players. Sydney Cooks is a special player. Tremendous person, intelligent, knows the game well, tremendous touch. I mean, shoots the 3 really well, great finishing around the basket. She does a lot of really good things. Ariel Cummings is another 6'3" kid from West Virginia, and she's come in and played really well. Her junior college, Chicola, she was an All-American. She's playing like it now, so I'm proud of her. Katie Armstrong was extremely well coached at Fairfield, and the only reason we got her is she graduated with a master's from Fairfield already, and she's like, I can't get 2 masters. And she's like, why don't I get one at Seton Hall? I'm like, that's great. So my staff did a great job of getting Katie in, and she brings an element of speed, athleticism, and then Cortesia Dean is just a special player. Shoots the ball well, 5'10", tough, physical player, and I think all of them are going to have an immediate impact into a great group of returning players.
And speaking of special players, I remember talking about when they were freshmen that they were a special freshman class, but you look at some of your players like Lauren Park Lane, Maya Jackson, now rising into their junior season, now as upperclassmen. How have they set the bar of the expectations of what you're looking for this team to produce?
Their work ethic. You know, Megan, they come to practice every day. I mean, I know it's going to sound stupid because the kid averaged 19 points a game last year. But Lauren Park Lane's a lot better player than she was last year. Maya Jackson, the only player in the Big East to average in double figures and shoot above 40% in the last 2 years. And she's considerably better. Those two, just the way they come to practice, the amount of individuals they request and do, it's easy. I had a former Big East coach at my practice yesterday. I don't want to say his name because he gets mad at me, but he goes, he put his arm around me at the end of practice. He goes, you have one hell of a backcourt. You should be really thankful. And I said, you're not kidding. I really am.
And Coach, Megan and I were both there last year, Big East tournament. You guys had been playing really well, and then just were kind of shocked there at the end. Does that still play in the mind of you and your players in terms of motivation, or is it something you've moved on from?
Honestly, I mean, you know, Creighton played really well in that game, and we people forget we were up 10, 12 points in the middle of the third quarter, and, you know, they just made some shots. We had a lot of defensive breakdowns by a couple of people. Hey there!
There we go.
Only good things, only good things. But it's those kids. They have just moved on, but they moved on in the correct way because they're working really hard, and they want to get better, and they want to not have what happened to us last year happen again.
Coach, thanks so much for spending the time with us today. We're going to send it back over to Johnny.
Thanks, Megan. I'm with Deepa Kelja from DePaul, and DePaul returns all 5 starters this year. That's got to give you a great feeling heading into the season.
Yeah, we're really excited to have a lot of returners this season. We're also excited about our new players. We have a couple transfers and a couple freshmen who are really good and are going to give us a good boost. But, yeah, we're really excited to have the same starting 5 and Baby D again off the bench coming in. You know, we don't know who's starting, but we have a lot of returners who can provide a lot this season. And, yeah, so it's going to be exciting.
And I know that you and your teammates have been hungry all offseason. 18-year postseason run snapped. You guys had to think about that for a long time. Now you're ready to approach the season. How would you describe how that's been a motivating factor for DePaul in the offseason?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Just getting back to the postseason and how you guys have been using that as motivation in the offseason.
Yeah, you know, our season didn't end how we wanted to end, obviously. That's no surprise to anybody. But, you know, we're kind of playing with a chip on our shoulder, practicing with a chip on our shoulder. I think we've done a lot in the off season to get better, and I think we're continuing to get better every day. And we're just really excited for this season to start to, you know, prove some people wrong and show them that, you know, last year was not how we usually play.
And I know Coach Bruno loves you guys to play with a great energy, a lot of points, high scoring, running up and down the floor. What would you say the one biggest thing, if DePaul's going to be successful this year, they're going to do what?
This is what Bruno would say. He would say to play defense and rebound. You know, we're known as a high-scoring team, but, you know, that can only take you so far. We have to really defend and rebound this season. And I think if we do that combined with the amount of offensive talent we have, I think we'll be in good shape.
Now, I've been asking almost every player this, but it's especially relevant for DePaul. McGrath-Phillips Arena is a great home environment. You guys play extremely well there. Last year, not the same. How excited are you for this season to have the DePaul faithful back in the stands?
Yeah, it's really excited. We're actually playing all of our games at Wintrust this season, so we're hoping we can get a good crowd there. We were there for the Sky game on Sunday, and they had an amazing crowd. So, we're hoping to just get at least a fraction of that at our games, and I think it would be a really fun atmosphere if we do.
Well, I know the city of Chicago has rallied around DePaul women's basketball. Great tradition, great success. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Thank you for having me.
Megan?
Thanks, Johnny. We're now joined with Villanova's Brianna Herlihy, who is just casually getting she's working on her MBA, just casually.
Just her MBA at Villanova. No big deal.
Brianna, when you're looking at your team this season, second year now under head coach Denise Dillon, what's exciting you about getting back out on the court?
Yeah, so we have 5 freshmen, so we're a fairly new team, but we are really excited. They're all coming along very nicely. We had the whole summer together this year, which was really nice. So they're getting into it. They're, learning the offense. Pretty complicated to learn. So they're getting it down, and I'm just really excited to see, once we actually start playing games and start playing other competition, how they do in that space. And I think they're going to do very well.
And now with a full year with Coach Dillon at the helm, she obviously had great success with you guys last season, but now, another year of experience, her bringing in some of her own recruits. What have you liked about what she's been able to build with you guys as she heads into her second year?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a large change of pace from Harry, but not saying that Harry was bad, but I do like the change of pace. We're running a lot more in transition, which, the recruits she's bringing in are really good for that. And I think it's just something that's really helped us, putting points up on the board. And she also is putting a really big emphasis on defense. We're playing a lot of teams that have very offensive-minded teams. So I just think that she's doing a lot of good things, especially for all the new talent coming into the Big East.
With the new talent on your team alone, with those 5 freshmen, is there one that you've taken under your wing a little bit to help out and share all of the knowledge that you've got?
I mean, I feel like most of them I've tried my best in helping them out. I don't want to pick favorites or anything, but Anahi has been kind of I haven't taken her under my wing, but
yeah.
I feel like I've made the most connection with her. She's doing so well. She's just being a leader on the court, using her voice. Even though she is a freshman, she's come along so much since the summer. And I'm really proud of her. And Lucy at the point guard, since we lost Raven and Sam, she's been doing so well in that position. So, yeah, I'm really excited to watch them play.
And going back to last year's Big East tournament, you guys shocked DePaul. They had been, I believe, the 3-time defending champs. That game was amazing. How much does that game, if at all, carry over into this season in terms of confidence and what your team is able to put together?
Yeah, I mean, that game was definitely a big one. We always have DePaul circled on our schedule. So, if 2 years before we had beat them at home, Harry's last game at the PAV, but I think it just showed us that we can be one of the top teams in the Big East, and it definitely did give us that confidence. We can do this, we can be one of the top teams, and we have the talent, we have all the pieces. We just have to carry that over into next season and do what we can to try to get one of those top spots in the league.
Does Harry come make a guest appearance at practice ever?
Oh, yeah. All the time. He just randomly shows up. Yeah. He was like, you guys are going to be good this year. And I was like, thank you. He's like, I wouldn't say it if I didn't mean it. And I was like, no, I know.
Always the
thank
brutal
you.
honesty.
Yeah. He was like, no, I believe you can be pretty good. I was like, thank you.
We got to talk a little Philly because I'm
Yes.
back in Philly now. We talked to Colin Gillespie, got his opinion. Philly cheesesteaks. If you like Philly cheesesteaks, what's your favorite spot? Where do you recommend?
That's a tough one because I honestly haven't had that many in Philly at Philly
As
restaurants.
long as we know it's not Pat's and Gino.
It's no.
Get
I
out of
didn't-
here with that.
I didn't love those ones.
See, I'm the
That's fake.
Jersey girl who would be going right
Yeah.
over. Okay,
No.
I'll go there.
Yeah,
Don't succumb to the bright neon
Yeah.
lights.
Those
Dallas
are always-
Andros.
I went there my freshman year, and I was like, this isn't really that good. I'm not from Philly, so I was like, oh, Philly cheesesteaks. But I don't know, other than that.
We're going to send it over to Johnny with your teammate. He's over there with Maddie Segrist. Johnny?
All right, Megan, I'm with the double-double machine, Maddie Segrist. All Big East first team last year, preseason All Big East first team this year, led the league in scoring, led the league in rebounding. How do you describe the energy, the toughness, the way you played last year, and how you can carry that into this year?
I just try to do whatever my team needs to win, and if that's to rebound the ball, if that's to score the ball, whatever, I just try to put my team in the best position every single game.
Is there pressure that comes with all of that? Is it something you embrace? How do you describe the leadership role on the court, off the court that you've been having to do?
I don't really think of it as pressure. Like, it's really fun. Like, I love playing, like, every game. You want to play great every game, but you can't. And if I can impact the game any way possible, if that's getting my teammates the ball, if that's rebounding, whatever it is, just try to contribute and put our team in the best spot.
Well, you did a lot of that last year. Villanova had a great season last year. You guys are poised to make another great run this year. What most excites you about this Villanova team?
I think we have a really good mix of experience and young players, and I think with the young players it's exciting. They get better every single game, especially the freshmen, and just from seeing where they were the first week of practice to now is huge. They're making big steps every day and just continue to get better. I think we're a much better defensive team this year, and I think we're going to rebound the ball much better too.
Now, this is Denise Dillon's third season coming into the conference after having Harry Peretta coach there for what seemed like forever. But how would you describe that transition, how that's been for Villanova basketball as a whole?
I think it's been great. It was a really smooth transition. I mean, they're such good friends. Harry still comes around a lot. So I think it was really smooth. Denise definitely brings more defensive mindset than Harry did, but we still do the 5 out. So, that was smooth.
All right, now, since they asked your teammate about Philly cheesesteaks, have to ask you, you're from New York. Is that even something that you go try? Are you just so New York driven, New York born, New York bred that you even go for the cheesesteak?
No, I definitely do. But I do listen to my Philly teammates about where to go and stuff. Usually once a month or once every 2 months we'll go just take a ride into Philly and try to find a new place to try.
Well, the Philly has three great loves. The cheesesteaks, Wawa, and the Eagles.
Very true.
You're not an Eagles fan.
Not an Eagles fan, but New York, not a huge Giants fan either, I know. But when I'm in Philly, we went to the Eagles game the other day, and I cheered for them, so yeah.
Right on. Maddie Siegrist, good luck this year. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Thanks for having me.
Megan?
Thanks so much, Johnny. We now have DePaul's Lexi Hill joining us at the set. Lexi, your senior season, your team's returning all 5 starters. What are you looking forward to most your final year?
I think last year we definitely grew together. So I'm excited to be on the court with them again. We're ready to really bring it this year and compete. And it's always fun playing with people that you have been around for a while. Mm-hmm.
Lexi, we got to talk a little WNBA hoops. I know you guys were at games 3 and 4, the WNBA finals, just a couple days ago, not only in your home arena, but Allie Quigley, DePaul alum, shooter like you. She was really the spark in that game 4 to get him back into it. What was that feeling like, and how does that help motivate you guys perhaps?
It was incredible. I mean, just to be able to be in Wintrust, obviously we play there, and just the environment. They sold out both games, so it was just an electric environment. It was really cool to experience in person, and the competition, the level that they play at is always fun to watch. So it was an awesome time.
Have you gotten to meet Allie before?
I have not in person.
Oh, that's surprising.
Yeah, no, but I mean we're really close with Bruno's obviously close with this guy, so it's really cool that we can kind of have that Chicago connection.
I know a heartbreaking end to your season last year. When you're looking back on it, how are you using that as fuel to fire you ahead for this year?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely know that's not who we are. I mean, DePaul, that's not how DePaul is. So we're definitely excited to get back on the court, kind of prove ourselves. We have a chip on our shoulder. We're ready to, we know what we're capable of, and we're ready to kind of show everybody else.
And we know Coach Bruno is such a student of the game. He probably watched your last games back 14 times each by now.
At least.
What would you say are some of the things that he has instilled in you guys, maybe learning moments from how you guys ended the season and how you can transform that to start this season?
Yeah, I mean, there's no magic to what we need to do, just kind of the little details that we need to get better at, sharing the ball better, rebounding, defending, just kind of the fundamentals of the game kind of got lost towards the end of the season. So we've just kind of been coming into practice every day, getting better every day, and I mean, that's the way that we're going to turn it around.
And talking about getting better every day. Last year, you led the league in steals per game, 5th in the nation. But what area are you looking to improve on this season?
I think rebounding is a big thing for me. I definitely want to improve in that area and then stay consistent on the offensive end, scoring, not turning it over, making the right decision, and then defending is always a priority. So just kind of, I guess, everything, but I would say mainly rebounding.
Have there been any good Doug Bruno stories in these first few weeks of practice? Any
You know,
crazy stories or
he's just so funny for no and he doesn't even try to be. I think that's what makes it funny. I don't know. He has all these little moments and it just makes everyone be like, wait a minute, that was kind of random. But that's always fun.
It's one of those moments where you wish you had a video camera because you're like, did
he
this
just
really
say
happen?
Definitely.
We're going to send it back over to Johnny.
All right, Megan, I'm with Creighton senior guard Tatum Rembow. Tatum, you guys are returning 6 of your 7 top scorers from last year. 3 of your starters. How excited are you to just get back on the court and play with this team?
We are very excited. I think especially ending the year, how we ended, just on a high from the Big East tournament, making that little run and then going to the WNIT and just seeing the potential that we have for this year coming up just really gave us a lot of hope.
If Creighton is going to be successful in the Big East this year, what's the one thing in your mind that they're going to have to do, that you guys are going to have to do on the court this season?
Absolutely. I think the most important thing right now is coming to practice every day, ready to go, being so competitive with each other, and really pushing each other to be the best that we can be.
Coach Flan, he was a philosophy major. Give me some good Flanisms. What are some of the things that he throws out in practice during the games?
He doesn't really have any sayings, but he'll stomp his foot or I don't know. There's no really things he'll say. He'll say Tatum or just under his breath like that, and so then that's when you know you're in trouble.
That's his way of yelling.
Yeah, kind of.
Gotcha. DJ Sokol Arena, awesome place to play. You guys draw a big home crowd. They're into it. Gives you a lot of energy. It's always tough for opposing teams to come in. Last year, obviously not the same. Yeah. Your senior year, how excited are you to have the Creighton faithful back in the stands?
Yeah, absolutely. Last year was so isolating with, you were traveling, but every court felt the same. So to be able to have that home court advantage and to even be able to look up in the stands and see my family there, I think it's going to make the world of a difference for senior year.
Good luck with the year, Tatum. Thanks for spending some time with us. Thank you. Megan?
Thanks, Johnny. We now are joined with Butler's Genesis Parker. Genesis. A lot of new pieces to your team this season. How is your team blending together at this point?
I think we hit a bunch of bumps and bruises in the beginning, but I think we're starting to gel together as a group. I definitely think doing conditioning and going through summer workouts helped us to gel together as a team.
Mm-hmm. And with a bunch of new pieces, whether they're freshmen or transfers, you're one of the vets, one of the few vets that's been with Kurt, been in the program, been at Hinkle. How are you looking to elevate as a leader and have an impact on your teammates?
Just communicating more, just bringing the younger ones in, trying to get to know them personally. I think that's the main part, so that they can trust me on the floor and they can trust me and they can trust, everybody else on the floor as well.
When you look back to last year, your team did have a ton of COVID postponements and you dealt with a lot of adversity. How were you able to reset that and refocus to bring back a little bit of grit this year that you can handle anything that's thrown your way?
Yeah. We had a rough year last year, but I think it's mainly the conditioning part. We couldn't really get through a game. So really focusing on conditioning this year and, learning from the mistakes we made last year, I think that really helped.
And you told us Coach Godlewski had you in the gym at 6 a.m. this morning in Indy before flying here. So he obviously has you girls working hard.
Yeah.
What has the first few weeks of practice has been like? As we mentioned, you're working in those new pieces, looking to build back from a tough year. What have some of his emphasis been for you guys?
I think his is mainly like conditioning. You know, last year we weren't in shape, and I think a lot of that had to do with COVID. And he's not playing any games. He has us up at 6 a.m. all summer, every day, and
wow.
I just think it's just getting us ready for the season.
They say it all the time. There's a difference between being in shape and being in basketball shape.
Yeah, you'd be in basketball shape.
Ma'am.
You know?
What were the 6 a.m. workouts all summer? Conditioning, basketball?
Conditioning, basketball, playing up and down. We get no breaks, so. But it's definitely showing.
That's
on
what
the
time
court.
Megan Caffrey works out. I'm more of like a 10 a.m. or like 6 p.m. type of person.
But I'm doing it with
She'll
coffee.
be there with
you.
you.
No coffee over
No
here.
coffee.
No coffee. Pure excitement for what's to come. Thank you so much, Genesis.
Yeah,
We're
thank
going to
you.
send it back over to Johnny.
Megan, I'm with Tenley Dowell, the redshirt sophomore guard from Butler. You just told me that the favorite part of your game is shooting, but particularly from beyond the arc. How can that help Butler this season?
Our offense is a lot of we drive to attack and we kick it. We bring 2 defenders in and look for the open shot. And now we have a lot of post presence this year. And so definitely like the in and out game will be very helpful for us.
A couple of impact transfers coming in for Butler. How has that helped your team? How do you think it's going to help your team? And what's it been like trying to gel with them?
It's been really good. We've been working very hard, and I think as a whole team we've been coming together and we're creating a very good bond. And we have a big post player, and so that'll be helpful because we needed that last year. And with a few guards, that will help us on the perimeter and with driving.
Is Hinkle Fieldhouse the best place to play in college basketball?
Absolutely, it's great. I mean, you walk in and like it's definitely different than most gyms, so it's a great place to play.
And you have all the screaming Butler fans back in there for this season. How excited are you to welcome them back for a little Hinkle magic?
Yeah, we're very excited. I mean, last year without fans, it was just not the same. And I think with a lot of fans, we'll have a lot more positivity and energy on the court, and that'll help us win some games.
We know Coach Godlewski loves defense. How has he been able to emphasize that this offseason? What does he have you guys doing to prepare you for the way that you're going to play defensively this year?
We work on defense every single day, some practices the whole time. And we don't always love it, but it helps us, and that's what we're going to need to win games. So we just compete and play hard against each other, so the defense has to work and just get in the right places.
Tenley, best of luck this year. Thanks. Megan?
So I just
Podcast?
watch Criminal Minds. Yeah.
Thank you, Johnny. We are joined by a couple of Providence Friars here, Mary Baskerville, Alyssa Geary. First of all, these ladies brought the outfits.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the teams rolled over from the COVID season where it was sweatsuits, sneakers. This might be best dressed. What do you think, Meg?
Lots of swag here, girls.
I saw
love
the
it.
YSL purse. Okay, but fashion aside, ladies, we were just saying, we feel like we've been watching you guys for a couple years now. You're finally seniors. You've got a lot of newcomers on your team, but we'll go Mary first. What are you looking forward to as a senior now with 3 years under your belt at Providence?
Definitely just bringing in all the newcomers and just getting them excited just because they haven't seen what the Big East is about. So it's just going to be so exciting to see them get so excited for the games. It's just traveling. It's going to be so cool to see them.
Alyssa, how about you?
Good
teamwork.
Yeah, no, just adding on, I'm really excited. We have a lot of depth this year. We've gotten a lot of really new pieces, so definitely just getting out there, continuing to build our chemistry and just do everything, learn as a team, experience as a team. But yeah, I'll echo Mary. I'm just really excited for the year to start and have our freshmen and new transfers, just to see what this conference is about.
And as seniors this year, you two, how would you both describe your leadership qualities? How are you leading this younger group?
I think that, definitely being patient and communicating more, like having 8 new players this year. It was a lot at times, but, being there this summer in July and preseason has really given us the opportunity, and Coach has been super awesome, with making us feel confident to use our voice and advocate to the young ones on, how to help them out a little. It's a lot.
Definitely using our voice. I feel like me and Alyssa have a great balance. It's like, I'm the one, I'll do it, she'll say it. So it's just like, I'll just perform it, she'll just vocalize what I'm trying to, but just not, I just do it physically.
And it's been really fun to watch you guys play together over the years and kind of how that has developed, both with great size. Mary more inside, Alyssa on the perimeter. Mary, how would you say that you guys have grown as teammates and how you complement each other on the floor?
Definitely just, since we're both up there on the same level, height-wise, game-wise, everything, I feel like it's such a good balance because she knows exactly what I want to do and where to get me the ball, and just like her having that vision, and just like we just work so well just because she's on the perimeter, I'm an inside, we can flip-flop, just get each other to what we're good at.
She runs my assists up. I'm like, let's go. Thank God you caught that. Coach is eyeing me right now on why I just threw that, but it worked out. She makes my passes look a lot better than they are, I swear. But, it's me and Mary. We have a connection on the court. We've had it from day one. I really do enjoy playing with her, and I'm glad, to spend some good time this year with you.
How special or unique is that connection? Because you've played on tons of teams before. How unique is it to be able to have that between the two of you?
I think it is very unique because honestly I've never played with someone taller than me, let alone like up in the 6 feet range. So I feel like we just connect on that on and off the court. So I feel like we just know each other's like struggles, exactly everything, like what we need to do, and like just like we know exactly what's going on.
Tall girls. Yeah, the tall girls. You're always walking in.
Yeah.
Tallest girls.
No, literally. And just to echo that, I feel like me and Mary, we kind of, know our flaws, knowing what's going on and how to get each other the ball. So I think, our assistant coach, she's always like giving us like, cheering us on, making sure that we're looking for each other, posting up. Like I know, like Mary will say, like, look for your shot, or I'll tell her to, continue to post. So definitely giving each other advice too on the court has been awesome.
All right, Alyssa Geary, Mary Baskerville. If they kill it on the court like they kill the outfits, watch out for the Providence Friars. Thank you so much, ladies. We'll send it back over to Johnny.
All right, Kim, I'm with the second-year Villanova head coach, Denise Dillon. What an interesting first year for you at Villanova. Was it the greatest professional challenge that you've had?
Oh, well, that's well phrased. It was a challenge, but we were all in it together. So the team, staff, everyone, administration made it as seamless as possible, and we were just happy to be out on the floor playing some games.
COVID is still a concern, obviously, but it's nothing like it was entering last season. So how excited are you to, in your second year, get more of a normal college basketball experience?
Yeah, I think last year we just talked about seeing what the next day held, and if we were going to play a game, trying to prepare and just appreciating the opportunity to be at practice. Now you have a regular schedule. You're trying not to look too far out, but of course you're preparing for a tough non-conference schedule to help prepare for a great Big East schedule. So we're in it again together, figuring out along the way, and just working best we can to be successful.
We were talking with Maddie Siegrist earlier. Must be nice to have someone like that on your roster. Led the Big East in scoring, led the Big East in rebounds. How would you describe her ability to lead this team both on and off the court?
Yeah, well, we rely on Maddie in so many areas, and I think her greatest growth has been as a leader. She recognizes what our team needs. She does that on the court, but I think what people don't see is what she's doing for our young group off the court, and just really taking them under her wing, trying to help them gain confidence and recognize what we're about and what we're looking to do this year. So it can be a great junior year for Maddie and this Villanova Wildcats team.
Well, you guys had a great year last year in your first season. How would you describe the team's ability to come back this year? You guys picked to finish 5th, but I really feel like in the conference that 2 through 5 spot is really anyone's game. There's just so many great teams this year in the conference. So how would you describe how this team is getting ready for the Big East Conference slate?
Yeah, I think it's just them recognizing how good the league is. And we faced it last year. You're seeing these teams, though, in DePaul, Seton Hall adding to their roster and DePaul returning everyone. So you can't count on what happened in the past. You really just have to continue to get better. And I'm saying it in, Maddie Sechrist as an individual player, but I think all of our players have taken that attitude and mentality to develop their game and throwing our young freshmen right into the fire and counting on them to do some special things early in their career.
Maddie Sechrist told us that Harry Peretta still hangs around, comes to practice. How meaningful is that for you personally to have him around and still be able to mentor you and mentor your players?
Yeah, it's so important. I mean, Harry is Villanova women's basketball. So he did just that for me when I was at Drexel. He's my coach, mentor, and friend. So to have him, to be on Villanova sideline now and to have Harry still with us is tremendous. It's always great to talk hoops with Harry.
Coach, best of luck this season. Thanks for the time. Megan?
Thank you, Johnny. We are now joined by Providence head coach Jim Crowley. Coach Crowley, thanks for joining us. We just chatted with two of your senior leaders, Mary and Alyssa. But aside from them, you got a brand new group coming in, 8 newcomers, you tell us. Can you key us in on a couple of those pieces that we should be looking out for, players who you think are going to make an impact right away for your team?
Well, honestly, I think they all have a chance to. We're still pretty new into practice, and everyone's getting a feel for where they're at. But, at different times, they've all shown things that could be really positive for us. The 2 transfers obviously have college experience, so we look to them to be able to help us scoring the ball as well as on the defensive end. But all 6 freshmen have shown some really good things, and, they've got to go through some of the process and go through some of the aches and pains of learning college basketball, but they're really a resilient group. And as I said, I think they all have a chance to help us in different ways this year.
Now, going back to your senior leaders with Mary and Alyssa, talking to them before, they just have a really unique connection, the 2 of them. But when you're looking at them, how are you really expecting them to take the lead this season, even more so than the years past?
Yeah, vocally will be the biggest thing, and by example with their effort, with their reactions, with their resiliency. They've been through a lot together, and they've stuck together through it. They've stuck with me. They've stuck with Providence, our program, which I will forever be grateful to. But they both have grown up a lot, and that's expected. You come in 17, 18 years old, all of a sudden you're 21, 22 years old, and you go through a pandemic, you grow up a lot. And they really have matured in a great way and together and have a bond on the floor and off the floor. And but we need them to be consistent. They're going to get a lot of attention defensively, so we also need them to be patient, both against that pressure and against that crowd that they'll see, but also to help their teammates with what's going to open up for them and communicate their experiences so that our young players, while talented, can kind of get experience through them quickly and be ready right away.
And it takes time to get those pieces to gel and figure out the best combinations. But what are some things you're preaching early on that, put that aside, you would like to see everyone who steps on the floor for you do well?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about 2 things all the time, and on the defensive side, it's just let's take away the easy baskets. No direct lines, no baselines, no offensive rebounds, no silly fouls. And then on the offensive end, let's take care of it. Let's limit throwing the ball away. Let's limit taking a risk. Let's just make the easy pass. Any shot's a good shot as long as we're getting it to the rim, especially with some of the folks we have that can rebound. So, and Mary and Alyssa have been great leaders with that and helping to explain that. And, we talk to our kids all the time. If you're doing those 2 things, you're playing some defense, you're taking care of the ball, then you're going to stay on the floor and we're going to have a chance.
Coach, when you do have 8 newcomers on your team, are we getting a little creative with some of the team bonding things that now you're really able to do this season as well? Last year, not too much was open, right? So now, what a great year to have a lot of newcomers coming because you can do stuff.
Yeah, and our group and my assistant coaches have been great with coming up with different things. And, we spent a lot of time in recruiting trying to find folks that would fit well and fit Providence and fit what we do. And we talked about that, and we went through that, and I've been really pleasantly surprised and pleased at how well they are getting together. We've seen things just with the way we rotate and cover for one another defensively, the way we're willing to make the extra pass, that shows a togetherness that a group that has 8 new people shouldn't have after 2 months of working together. So now we haven't had a loss, we haven't had adversity. That'll be the real test of that. But I've been really enjoying this group because they enjoy each other so much.
All right, Jim Crowley, thank you so much for the time, and best of luck to your Providence Friars. We'll send it back over to Johnny.
Kim, I'm with Ayanna Townsend from Xavier. It was a tough year for Xavier last year. Multiple pauses, could never really get a flow going in the season. This year, we all hope that it's going to be a lot different, but that's the expectation. So how would you describe your personal excitement level, but also more broadly your team's excitement level, just to finally get back into a regular college basketball routine?
Yeah, last year definitely sucked. We went into quarantine where we had to not play in practice, I think 3 times. So it was very hard going up and down because when we were in quarantine, we couldn't do any at-home workouts. We just felt like all of our conditioning left, and then the rest of the season was just like a dogfight basically. But this year, I'm really excited because I know we have a lot of new pieces on our team, and honestly, with it being a quote-unquote regular year, I think we'll be able to get into a flow and then be consistent.
Having all the pauses last year, was this offseason that much more important from a conditioning standpoint, from a practice standpoint?
Yeah, I would say it definitely was. It was a big transition going from the 4 hours a week to the 20 hours a week with our coaches and strength staff this year, I would say. But I feel like all of our support staff and coaches have done a good job preparing us in the weight room, on the treadmills, on the track, and on the court. So.
Coach Melanie Moore, what's the biggest thing that she wants your team to emphasize this year?
I would say, 2 words that we talked about at practice were discipline and consistency recently. She wants us to also be more of a transition, get it up the court. We have a lot of set offenses and primary breaks and stuff, but we want to become a more transition team. Going back to the discipline and consistency, obviously, last year, it was hard to stay consistent, so this year having an emphasis on that is important. And just being disciplined when we're not in transition to settle down, run our sets, and be able to get a good offense going.
So what you're saying is we can expect a lot more offense from Xavier this year, a lot more flying up and down the court?
Yes.
Right on. Ayanna Townsend, thanks for the time. Good luck this year. Megan and Kim?
Thanks so much, Johnny. We're now joined with Nia Clark from Xavier. Nia, we were just talking a little bit about before that you're so excited this year. Fans back in the stands, no paper fans. Yeah. What are you really looking forward to? No
that
paper
sounds
fans.
So sad. I mean, I'm looking forward to getting to play with my new teammates. We got 7 new people from all different conferences, so I'm excited to play with them. We're really gelling really well, so that's what I'm most excited about.
Yeah.
And with all those new pieces, how have you already seen your style of play change a little bit from last season to this season?
I think we're more versatile. More people can do more things. And so we're kind of trying to play positionless. So anybody can bring it up and just get it and go. We're running and gunning. So that's what I'm saying.
And building off of the versatility, talking about how valuable is it that with the newcomers, they're coming from different experiences, different types of playing. So how valuable does it make it in practice for they're going to start playing Xavier basketball style, but you got to see that a little bit in the beginning to say, oh, now I can pick up on certain things.
I think it's valuable because they're not freshmen. It's not like we have 7 new freshmen coming in. We have a grad transfer. We have older players that are coming in. So I feel as though, it's just exciting to play with them.
And your second year playing for Xavier, we know you transferred, you had an injury, you're getting back in the swing of things now. What was your off season like? What were you working on? And what can we expect to see from you? You had a great freshman year, but now taking that to another level this year.
I'm working to be more consistent and 3-dimensional. I want to be able to shoot the 3, shoot the mid-range, and get to the rim and just downhill. So that's what I've really been working on. Just be more consistent in those areas and not just be one-dimensional.
Do we have a shooting partner that you're posting up with after practice to get a couple extra shots in?
I mean, yeah, but I kind of go by myself and my position coach. I mean, we all get different position workouts, skill workouts. So, yeah, we're all in there after practice
and we know you. We know Ayana's here. You mentioned a bunch of new transfers coming in from different conferences. Who are a couple that we should keep our eye out for that are already making a big change for you guys?
Yeah, I think Michaela Hayes, she's a grad transfer from Clemson. Shelby Calhoun from Virginia Tech. Shay Biller, she came from IU. I mean, I could give them, I could really, they're all really something to look forward to, but yeah.
Okay.
Now we're gonna get off the court a little bit because I mean we have to get to know a lot of these newcomers a little bit more. Break it down for us. Who maybe is the funniest on the team?
The funniest? I'm giving it to. I think it's me, honestly.
You gotta be true. Be honest.
All the teammates would definitely say the same.
Yeah, they're all different. They're all funny in their different ways. But I say Shay. Her and I always we connect and we crack up laughing. So I say Shay Biller.
I haven't had too much time that I've spent in Cincinnati. If I were to go there, or fans coming to the games, where do you recommend to go to eat pre-game, post-game Xavier women's basketball game?
Me personally, I don't really like hot dogs and stuff like that. But Cincinnati's known for their Skyline chili. That's their go-to.
That's what Coach Steele said
Yeah,
on the men's
Skyline, or people go crazy for Canes. I don't know if that's just a Cincinnati thing, but that's like a chicken tender
I've
spot.
heard of that.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Little Skyline chili. Well, I mean, they're not going to be eating it before the game.
Not
Hopefully,
before.
maybe that could just
Maybe
be
the off
post-game.
season,
Yeah.
like once a month.
Or never.
We're going to send it back over to Johnny. Johnny?
Thanks, Megan. I'm with Kirk Godlewski, the head coach at Butler, and we had Denise Dillon on earlier, and I asked her about just the professional challenge of navigating last year with the pandemic and your players and getting ready for the season. How much has this year been different, and how much has it helped?
It's been different because we were able to spend quality time with our student athletes in the summer and so far this fall in the preseason. We learned a lot through that process and how valuable it is to do team building and have those relationships built, and how those help you when you get into those tough, difficult times during the season. So, it's been a real blessing so far to have things as normal as you can have them right now, and not have that stress walking into the gym and not seeing your kids in mass practicing. And it's been really, really good so far.
I think the one big thing for Butler last year, too, was having just one non-conference game and then being thrown right into the conference schedule. And obviously, we know the competition level in the Big East. How important is having the competition outside of the conference for your team's preparation for conference play?
Yeah, there's a whole realm of things that happen with the non-conference play, from challenges that prepare you to building confidence going into conference play, and developing and growing your identity, your team identity. So we needed those things and missed those things last year, and the missed practice time and those non-conference games hurt for sure.
You're coming into your 8th season at Butler. If there's one thing about your team that if I asked someone on the street, Butler Bulldogs, what would you hope they would say?
That they're smart and tough, that they just don't make mistakes, and they're going to battle you every possession. And those are the type of competitive kids that I really feel we have in our locker room this year. And have been a joy, and I've enjoyed being in the gym with them every day, which is something that not every coach can say.
As far as team building goes, is there a particular exercise, something that's your favorite that you like your team to do to be able to gel?
We've done a whole bunch of different things, from play paintball to this year we did a personality profile and how to communicate with the different personalities within your team. So I don't really have a favorite, as long as it gets us to where we need to be. That's my favorite.
Coach, appreciate the time. Good luck.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thanks, Johnny. We're now joined with Seton Hall's Sydney Cooks. We were just talking a little transfer, Mississippi State transfer, first year in the Big East, so first media day. How's the Big East treating you?
Oh, I'm loving it. I've never experienced anything like this, so I'm really grateful to even be here in the first place, seeing that this is my first year. So just excited.
And Sydney, we were talking a little X's and O's. Seton Hall has had great guard play in the last couple of years. Point guards, perimeters, but they haven't had a huge woman in the middle of the paint. and we're thinking that could be you at 6'5". What have you talked to Coach Bozzella about, or even seen starting to develop in practice about what you add to the Seton Hall team?
Well, a lot of my time in college, I've played on the perimeter.
Oh.
So I was the smallest post player at Mississippi State. So to come here and be the biggest on the team, it's an adjustment, but I'm loving it. And then you couldn't tell that these guards haven't had a big, the way that they pass the ball high and find myself, Kayla, and Rel down low. It's just really natural.
Yeah, what has it been like getting acclimated to Lauren Park Lane, Andra, who you said you knew from the past? Those are some really talented guards. What has been your first impression of playing with them?
Oh, I love it. I think Lauren is one of the best guards I've ever played with. And then obviously me and Andra weren't physically on the court together, but throughout practices and just being friends, we really mirror each other's games really well. So they've made me better. I hope that I'm making them better. I think the connection is off the charts. So it should be a really good season for us three.
And how does, with you having a lot of experience, perimeter experience, right now with a different role that you have on this Seton Hall team, how does that elevate your game because you do have the experience of how to see it from the outside now being in?
I think just we're positionless. So it's not like I'm getting rid of the things I do on the perimeter, but I'm just adding another part of my game, being down low and using my height and strength in places where it's needed. So I might not always be the big 5-man down low. We might put Lauren down there, like who knows?
Watch out.
But I know for sure that I'm able to play inside out, which I really enjoy that, instead of just being you're 6'5", get on the block. It's more so like wherever you're successful, that's where we are going to put you. So
I could definitely see Lauren Park Lane just battling it in the post. She'll get an N1.
For sure.
But Sydney, what was it about the Seton Hall program that made you want to come to Seton Hall and to the Big East Conference?
Yeah, well, Coach B is very transparent, and I respect that about him. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. I felt like he didn't tell me everything I want to hear, but what I need to hear, and then also going to a team that doesn't only want you but needs you was big for me. Being 22 years old, I understand that my college days are coming to an end soon, so I want to make the best of it. I didn't even visit the campus. I just instantly knew, obviously, Andra being one of my best friends and her really being a very good recruiter during the process helped me out. So it was just really trust, and I really feel this is the best fit. Like, I'm more than happy being there.
And lots of fun things to do in Jersey. You're close to New York City, for example.
Yeah.
Is this your first time to New York or Madison Square Garden?
I was in, the Jordan Brand game. So high school, I had a little experience out here. But yeah.
A little different coming in as college
Yes,
athlete.
yes.
And we were talking, you're from Wisconsin, so family will be at Marquette. They will be at DePaul. I'm sure they're looking forward to that. What fun things have you done so far being in the Northeast?
Oh, wow.
Or have you just been in the library and in the gym?
Kind of, yeah. I think my work ethic has went insane. My teammates love to be in the gym, so they make me love being in the gym. They've helped me get my confidence up to where I want to be in the gym all the time. So I really haven't explored. I mean, I have a Yorkie. We walk around the block sometimes, but like other than that, most of the time.
You should have come to Media Day, or he or she.
I should have brought her. But besides that, yeah, most of my time is at home, doing grad school things or in the gym.
What's the name?
Sazu.
Sazu. All right, well, you got to get home, give Sazu a little walk.
Will do.
We'll
We're gonna send
bring
him
him to a
back
game.
over.
We'll get him on camera.
Yes,
Yeah,
she'll have some gear on.
Oh, there.
Or sorry, get her.
Get her. Maybe a little sweater tutu. The whole,
Yes,
we'll talk a little bit more about this. Johnny, we'll send it back over to you.
Megan, thanks very much. With senior guard Kadeja Bailey from St. John's, I feel like the Red Storm this year are one of the most exciting teams in the conference, bringing back 4 of your starters from last year. How would you describe what you think this team can do this season?
I think this year, this team, we're going to bring back a lot of energy. The same starters that we're bringing back in, we try to stay consistent. We try to stay in the gym. The transfers, the freshmen, we try to pick them up, tell them, just play their game. But we're just basically just looking for, just basically staying consistent. And like Coach always says, just staying tough. That's the biggest word this year. He always say it, toughness. So that's basically what we're looking for, just being tough towards everything on and off the court.
Well, you have one piece that's really going to help, and that's your teammate Leilani Correa. She's just fun to watch. I imagine it's even more fun to play with her. Can you describe how fun it is to play with Leilani Correa?
It's actually really fun to play with her. You know, she's not a selfish player. You know, she pushes everybody on the team. You know, I just really love Leilani. I don't know. You know, she's a very hard-working player. We try to just, you know, pick her up at times when she, you know, when she's down. That's really it to it. You know, yeah. Like I basically said, she's just a very great player.
Let's talk about your game and the biggest piece of that, which is clearly rebounding, one of the biggest strengths that you bring to St. John's this year. How would you describe your approach to bringing down the boards?
You know, basically the same word. I'm going to keep using toughness, you know, just being tough, just being there to get the rebounds, you know, when our bigs aren't, helping them, you know, fight down there to get the rebounds. I think that's just really, yeah, just basically just helping my teammates getting rebounds.
You think St. John's is going to surprise a lot of people this year in the Big East?
Honestly, yeah, I think so. I think we are. We all have the same mindset. We're coming in with a different mentality. And I just think we're really going to surprise people.
Coach Joe Tartamella, we know he brings a ton of energy on the bench. Can you describe what it's like in practice and how he gets you guys prepared for this season?
He basically just pushes everybody. You know, we work on what we need to work on the most in practice. When we're not doing good, we continue the same drill until we get it done. And he basically just pushes us really hard.
Is there a particular game this year in conference play that you're most excited about?
Definitely UConn. You know, they're a very tough team. You know, it's always tough playing them. I think it's going to be a very exciting game against UConn.
Kadeja Bailey, best of luck.
Thank you.
Kim, Megan?
Mine is loose.
Thank you, Johnny. Keeping it going with the Red Storm. Big East preseason first team member, Leilani Correa, her coach, Joe Tartamella. Great to see you guys. Leilani, we'll start with you. We feel like we've seen you as a veteran in this conference while you were just a freshman and a sophomore. You've been an incredible player. Now you're truly an upperclassman as a junior. What are you looking to do and elevate your game in your third year now in a Red Storm uniform?
Just continue to be consistent in my game and be confident in myself and in my teammates. And I think that we're going to surprise a lot of people this year, and I'm really excited to see what everybody has to say about it, how we're playing.
Coach, I'll go off that with surprising a lot of people. What excites you about your team that you think that you can surprise a lot of people this season?
Well, I mean, you know, last year was difficult for everybody. I think the fact that we have a number of players that I think gained critical minutes on the floor that maybe they wouldn't have gotten last year as far as our core group and then what we've added to it, whether it be through transfers or our freshmen. Style of play will be a little bit different too, and some of the pace and space that we're going to play with, and the aggressive nature obviously that we'll continue to have on the defensive end. I think all those things, and Leilani's been seeing it from the summer, and in her growth obviously as a player, and she's a humble kid, or young lady I should say, and so we've been really pleased with when she talks about consistency, about how she's worked, how she's gotten herself ready from the summer. And I think that's rubbed off on the rest of our team. So, yeah, her excitement is real, and it is for us too.
I'm with Leilani, and we can pull the receipts because I said at the top of the show they pulled up the seedings, 7 St. John's, and I said that's one to watch for to move up. So I'm with you guys. Coach, what can you tell us about the 2 transfers that you're bringing in and how you think they will complement the experience that you now already have?
Yeah, I think both are coming obviously from storied programs, you know, by way of Notre Dame for both of them in one way, and then from Indiana. So they bring us size, they bring us an ability to space the floor. You know, Danny Cosgrove can really flick it from 3 and is probably underrated in what she can do from the inside. And Danny Patterson is kind of like almost a Swiss Army knife in everything that she can do. So the bigger part about both of them is I think they're really excited about the opportunity to show people what they're able to do on the floor. And they've put themselves in seamlessly with our group. You'd come to practice and you'd think they've been with us for a while. And I think that's a testament to their teammates and just what we've been building from the summer. So they really add to a group of post players and forwards, and that I think will probably be our most or the deepest group that we've had in there. Their accountability for each other, the confidence they have, they feel really good about what they're going to be able to do.
Leilani, it's wild to think that you're just only now a junior. When you look at all of the success that you've had on the court and just your ability to put the ball in the net. But when you're looking at your growth as a leader, how have you now, as an upperclassman, how are you really stepping into the leadership role?
I think that I've gotten more comfortable in myself and putting myself more into that role since freshman year. I didn't really speak a lot on the court or off the court freshman year, but I think even the other day, or whether it was like yesterday, he was saying how I've been talking a lot more on the court and just communicating with my teammates more and just helping different people see the floor better, because I'm seeing the floor better than I was freshman year or even last year. So I think that's been really helpful for me.
And Leilani, what has felt different, if anything, about these first couple weeks of practice now with more chemistry, new pieces coming in? What kind of has that energy and the vibe been in the first couple weeks?
It's been really good, and I'm really excited, like we've been saying. But it's just the culture around our team is different this year, and the mentality is different this year. Our big thing is toughness, whether it's on the court or off the court, just being mentally and physically tough and just giving your all in everything. And we come to practice every day, and we give it our all, and that shows a lot.
Now, Leilani, I'm going to give Coach the opportunity to maybe make you blush a little bit, but in talking with Leilani's growth as a leader and knowing that, you know, she had it in her to get a little bit more vocal and everything, how have you seen her growth now as she steps into her junior year? And what are you really excited to watch with how she continues to grow?
Yeah, and she said it before, when you look at consistency and work ethic and really understanding what that means, she's always been so gifted. I mean, she was always a gifted scorer. She still is, and she can score at all levels on the floor. The challenge that we've put forth for her on the defensive end has been the biggest difference that we see that really gets us excited about now, I think, her understanding of what she needs to be to complete herself as a player. The way that she plays, and we talk about this a lot, you know, people feed off how she looks, right, or how she's playing, the effort she's giving. And so when we talked about toughness and standards and things that we've been building on all year, she's living it. She's being an example of that. She may say she doesn't speak. She does speak, by the way, a lot. But, but it's more effective now. And I think it comes from understanding. When you know what you're doing and you have that confidence, it's easier to talk. And I think the rest of her teammates see that. They feel that confidence. And so that's the exciting part about what she's done and who she's becoming. And all of us are excited to see what she'll be able to do. And obviously her selection on the preseason team is warranted from what she's done. But we still feel like her ceiling hasn't even come close to being reached.
Love that. And Leilani, what excites you about hopefully being back to a more normal year this season? We're actually here at Media Day. There will be fans at Carnesecca. There will be fans at Mohegan Sun. You maybe get to do things off the court with your teammates. What excites you about that?
I think the most exciting thing would probably be the fans being there. Just the energy that they bring during games is just crazy, and it just gives us energy. Even when we're warming up, just seeing everybody there supporting us, it just gives us motivation to go out there and just be our best.
The fans are going to be packing, and now Big East Women's Basketball Tournament back at Mohegan Sun Arena. Easy travel for the St. John's fans. That's what I'm just saying. They're going to be able to pack it.
It's about time. Just saying.
All right. Well, I think we'll take a quick break. Leilani, Coach Tartamella, I think big things are coming for the Johnnies this season. We look forward to seeing those new transfers. Leilani, we love watching you play, and we're excited to see the Red Storm. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
All right, we are going to take a quick break, and we will be back. We here with Coach Doug Bruno.
We are now back with DePaul head coach Doug Bruno. Coach, we're so excited to finally have you with us. When you're looking at your team this year, you return all 5 starters. You're chosen second in the preseason poll. What is exciting you about this group that you have?
I'm excited about the 12-2 team in the middle of last season. 1-4 lost to UConn, 1-4 lost to UConn, 1-4. I'm excited about that team. I don't know that I'm so excited about the team that finished, but I have to take the blame for that. I coached that team last year like there wasn't COVID, and I'm so proud of our players for staying COVID-free last year, and they never got that 2-week break that everybody else got because somebody tested positive.
Coach, I'm interested to hear how you spend your off season, because we know if anyone's a basketball junkie, a student of the game, Lexi said you probably watched all your games back at least 13 times. How do you spend your off season? Do you take any time away from basketball? How much film do you actually watch?
Kim, every day of my life's a vacation. so, you know, when I say what's your ultimate vacation, I've never worked a day in my life. I love what I do. So how hard is it to put on gym shoes every day and watch a TV screen? I mean, so you're watching a basketball game. So, I mean, it's not like I spend every waking hour, but I try to keep current by watching basketball every day if I can.
And what were some of the key takeaways from watching back whatever number of games you did from last season that you've been trying to implement to be a little bit better this season?
Well, I think I wore our team out. I mean, again, I'm trying to take responsibility for that. I'm just proud of them for being COVID disciplined, but then I should have given them a 2-week break. I should have. You know, we were worn out at the end of the year, and I think I did that to them by coaching them as if there wasn't COVID. And so I got to take responsibility for that. Technically, we didn't defend, we didn't rebound, we didn't share. So if you don't defend, you don't rebound, you don't share, you're not going to win games. So, and we were still a game or two away from earning our 19th straight NCAA tournament. So it wasn't like we just were absolutely terrible at the end. But this is a great league, and if you don't come ready to play, great teams, the other good teams are going to knock you off.
What are the areas that you would look to improve on this season for your team?
I think we have to defend better, we have to rebound better, we have to value defending, we have to value rebounding, and we have to value sharing. We've got a lot of people that can score, but the essence of basketball is valuing defending, valuing rebounding, valuing sharing, and then valuing scoring. And I think we got to get that straightened out. We also have to get healthy. I mean, we're still waiting on a transfer waiver for a very good transfer from Drake, Kiera Collier, Jory Allen has been out, so we need to get Jory back healthy. You know, we're waiting on Kendall Holmes tore her Achilles a year ago, so we're trying to get her back. And we do have a freshman, Anissa Morrow. And you don't hear Coach Bruno talk about freshmen very much because I wait for them to do it rather than talk about them prematurely. But she has a chance to be special, and she brings a energetic rebounding factor to our team, which we sorely need.
And Coach, we've got to talk about the basketball energy going on in Chicago right now, in your home Wintrust Arena, with the Chicago Sky just winning their first title. I know you've been in every game, you said, since the Sky came into existence. One of your best all-time players, Allie Quigley, huge component of that team. What has it been like the last few days being at the games and just seeing the renewed women's basketball spirit it brought to Chicago?
Well, we're so proud of Allie Quigley and the Big East. You know, the finals was Big East full. It wasn't just Allie Quigley. You know, you had the great of all time, and Diana Taurasi, and you had Bria Hartley, and Kia Nurse got hurt, and then Steph Dolson and Ezra Stevens. So there's a lot of Big East going on out there, and Big East from yesteryear was out there when you factor in 2 Notre Damers and 2 Rutgers. So there was just a lot. But back to the Sky question, Kim, you know, it's energized the city. And the Sky were recognized as a legitimate professional basketball team. They weren't recognized as a women's team. They were recognized with the Bears, with the Blackhawks, with the Bulls, Sox, and Cubs, and that was really huge. But it's also the Title IX 50th year anniversary of Title IX, 25th anniversary of the WNBA, and our own Val Ackerman. What that Sky victory was a testament to all the young girls that started playing high school basketball 50 years ago in the Chicago area, all the high school coaches, all the former WBL players, Val Ackerman herself, all the people, Jeannie Lenti-Ponsetto, all the people that have put in, their blood and guts into women's basketball in the city of Chicago, culminated with that championship.
How does it re-energize your team a little bit to having the opportunity to look at these women and see someone who went to their school, played for you, and to see them win the ultimate goal? Was that kind of a cool experience for you to be able to watch your players go through as well?
I think it was awesome for our players to get to watch that and to see the vision of a filled Wintrust Arena. And it was great to see it filled for the finals, but the sky still wasn't full 4 weeks ago. So, I mean, to see what you can do if you really play the game the right way, play with the grit and toughness that Allie has brought to the sky, along with Courtney Vandersloot and Kalia Copper and Candace Parker. It wasn't a one-man show by Allie at all, but as Ray and Steph, I mean, it just to see that and bring that grit and toughness. This is the toughest team I've watched, Sky team, since buying. I buy my season tickets, Kim. I go to every game. I sit next to Michael Alter, the owner.
Do you get popcorn?
You know what? I love popcorn, but I just don't like to eat it next to spit it on people.
All right, Doug Bruno, we're going to let you go. It's always a pleasure speaking with you. And I'm told we're actually going to switch the screen here. I'm told we're bringing Melanie Moore in live. So we'll see if we can have a flawless passing of the baton here.
Here we
a
go.
lot of pressure on.
No,
a nice little switcheroo.
I mean, your husband Joe and I played golf together, so here we go. Joe's
This is very elegant.
We have to
Coach
hear about
Bruno,
how the golf game was.
Thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you soon. That was a flawless transition.
I like your shoes.
Oh, thank you. I was going to say I like your necklace.
Thank you.
We're joined by Xavier head coach Melanie Moore, who's got it going on with all. I have to say, all the Xavier men and women today, they brought it.
We're dressed to impress, right?
Dressed to impress.
It's just nice to be here.
Right, we were saying the same. We enjoyed speaking with Nia earlier, and she started telling us just about all of the new pieces that you guys have, telling us every conference in the country almost where your new pieces have come from. What can you tell us about what we can expect from your group this year, and maybe some of those few pieces that you're kind of narrowed in on thinking will have an impact right away for you?
Yeah, I think we'll look a lot different to a lot of teams out there because we have so many new roles, even with the returners that are back. But I can't say enough about this team. I love coming to work every day. They're hungry. They're excited. They're confident. They're passionate. And so I would say that I would lead with Nia Clark. She sets the tone every day. She's probably one of the most competitive kids I've ever been fortunate to coach, and she raises the bar every time. I hear her now saying things that I used to say in year 1 and year 2, so it's like, yes, they're getting it. But the 4 transfers, they come in with high-level experience, and majority of those programs have won, so they know what it's like, too, to raise the bar and get to the NCAA tournament. And so all 4 of our transfers have really brought in this new energy, new life into our program. And so I think everybody's excited. The chemistry has been great, and they started that this summer by getting together themselves because we have 7 new kids. And so I just sit back some days and I'm like, all right, if this is how I envision year 3, it's starting to come together. So
It was interesting in talking to Nia a little bit about this, but to ask you as a coach, with these transfers who are coming in, they've got a lot of experience, like you said, winning experience. So how are you able to kind of take all of those chess pieces and have your players learn from them, but also continue to play the Xavier style of basketball?
Yeah, so we had a leadership group starting this summer, and Nia and Yanni, who are here with me today, were on that. So we had 2 returners and then 2 transfers. So Shea Beeler, who was our point guard, was in on our leadership meetings, as well as Michaela Hayes, who is a grad transfer. So she is a senior experience-wise. So it's neat to just sit in these meetings, and yes, they're run by me, but to hear from them and what they want this year to look like, because you need the ownership to come from the players, and they've really taken that on. They came up with our word this year that they said we need to be confident. So confidence is our team word, and we say we can be confident not only on the court, but I think as women and who we are as people on Xavier's campus, in our community. And so they really took a buy-in even to that word.
That's incredible. And just going from those meetings with Nia and Ayana, how have you seen that leadership translate onto the floor for them, or how do you expect them to be even better this season than they've been?
Well, Ayana has talked more this year than she has in the previous 2 years. So I'm already like, Yanni, yes! And just to keep empowering her, because now she stands back more with her shoulders back, and she's strong in what she's saying and how she's leading this group. And Nia is just the most competitive kid, like I said. So she leads by example a lot of times and sets the tone with how hard they got to go. So those two have been a joy. That's why I do it, to see them grow from first year to now. It's really cool.
Year 3 for Mel Moore. What does your team look like besides confidence on the court?
Yep, fast.
Yeah.
I think everybody's going to see now we have athletes and we're versatile. So we can play multiple positions. So I think you're going to see us get up and down more, as well as we're going to play stronger, tougher, and harder than you guys ever have. And this group has really bought into that.
Love that.
I love the sound of that. All right, I think we are wrapping up with you, Coach Melanie Moore from Xavier. We appreciate you coming in that quick trend. That was quick feet there.
Thank you.
Watch out.
Still got it.
We are excited to see the new style of play from Xavier, and we look forward to seeing you down the stretch.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much, Coach. We now get to bring Johnny Soper over here to the set to join us.
Appreciate you guys. That was a lot
Killing
of
those
fun.
interviews.
Oh, it was a blast.
Great job.
It was a blast. What is one of your biggest takeaways now in talking to a bunch of players, some of the head coaches, of what is exciting you for this season?
We're going to talk about this theme over and over, but I really think it's the fans. This is why you play sports. This is why you play college basketball, is to play for a school, to play for an alumni base, to play for the fans that show up every day. And to have not had that last year was so strange for everyone. It was strange watching, it was strange being in an empty arena and in that environment. And so I know it's going to sound like we're beating a dead horse, but I really think that's a ginormous factor, because some of these environments in the Big East are the best in college basketball.
Agreed.
And I think this year, being able to have those fans back makes a huge difference. I think the competitiveness of this league is going to be a lot of fun to watch. If you think that just because Connecticut and all their greatness that it's not going to be exciting, you are dead wrong. This is going to be an exciting year in the league.
Yeah, one of the takeaways for me, as we were speaking with a bunch of these coaches and players, I think transfers are going to play a huge part in this conference this season. And I think we're starting to see the impact of UConn. I think we're seeing that change recruiting. I think we're seeing players from big-time college basketball conferences transferring into the Big East now, because they want to take on UConn. They want to help their team get to UConn's level. We enjoyed speaking with Sydney Cooks of Seton Hall, Mississippi State. We didn't get to speak with Marquette, but I know they've got some Big Ten transfers coming in. I think a lot of the teams this season are going to have impactful transfers who are able to play right away. I think transfers are a huge storyline to monitor, and they're going to help bump teams up. St. John's, we mentioned, picked 7th in the preseason. They've got 2 former Notre Dame, Indiana, New York homegrown girls now coming in with size. I think they're instantly going to have an impact at St. John's, and I think a bunch of transfers are.
That is my biggest takeaway. If we could bring up the poll one last time, I think when you look at those top 3, they're highlighted by a lot of returners, right? Returning their starting 5 back, which is so exciting, but there's so much exciting unknown in the transfers, to your point, Kim.
Yes, and let's not, we haven't spoken much Villanova. I know you talked to Coach, we talked to a couple players. Let's not sleep on them, because I thought Denise Dillon did a fantastic job in her first year. We saw that in the upset of DePaul in the Big East quarterfinals. You've got Maddie Siegrist, who has been one of the best players in her position in the country. So don't sleep on Villanova either.
I think St. John's is the sleeper in the conference. You know, they return a bunch of starters, but also Leilani Correa, X factor.
Can get 30 a given night.
Major
Multiple
X
times,
factor.
back to back.
Yeah.
Back to back to back.
Keep your eye out.
She did.
Keep your eye out for the Red Storm. I really like their team this year.
And Big East women's basketball fans, just like what Johnny said, we're expecting to see you in the fans all season long. We'll be at those games. We cannot wait. It has been such a great day here for us to be back on the floor of the world's most famous arena. Does that sound good to say, or what?
Yes, I can't
Been
wait.
a long time coming.
Yes.
How about the tournament at Mohegan Sun? It's been in Chicago. It was at Mohegan Sun last year with no fans, but we know the UConn fans are going to show up in a big way.
Yep.
Not that other teams aren't as well. We want all the fans there, but I think it's going to be electric at Mohegan Sun come March.
Oh, yes. And a big thank you today to all of our players, coaches, for taking the time to sit down with us, chat a little hoops, get to know some of the players better. Behind the scenes, Bobby Mullen, Pam Flanke for making this happen, Commissioner and Hall of Famer Val Ackerman for leading the way for us. We had such a great day here, bringing a little bit of Big East women's hoops to you. For Kim Adams, Johnny Soper, I'm Megan Caffrey, and we cannot wait to see you once the season starts.